Hey there folks. Welcome to my channel Relationship Haven. In today's story, Oi found out the hard way that his wife cheated on him a while back with a school principal. After the shocking things he found on her phone while they were on a trip to Vegas. Let's get into the story. 6 months after discovering wife's 31 female affair, partner. TLDR. If you don't want to read the entire post, wife had emotional affair for a year and a half. Working things out. I hurt and go backwards. We keep trying, working so far. Good sex. This post was originally removed for asking a moral question of if I should tell his wife and how. It has been 5 months and I'm writing with an update of sorts back in February. My wife and I enjoyed a trip to Vegas gifted by my mother-in-law. Mother-in-law joined and brought some friends. All was well. One of the nights we were with my wife, mother-in-law and her friends decided they were going to go to a club and a hotel and us guys were going to go play craps. I got tired and decided to head back to the room. I showered, impatiently, waited for my wife to return to the room. After receiving some detailed texts about what she wanted to do to me that night, she arrived, stumbling and clearly way too drunk for any kind of activity. So I undressed her and got her into bed. I plugged her phone in and was about to go to bed when her phone started blowing up from one of the friends. I answered her phone and they informed me she had left her credit card at the bar. I thanked her for telling me and edited the call. I swiped up as I usually do to close the app I am using. And her phone displayed a text conversation that wasn't in the regular iMessage app. But Telegram. It caught my eye and I thought it was strange. I opened it and discovered it was a text between her and one of her colleagues. For context, back in July of 2021 we moved states 3 hours away as my wife kept asking me to get a transfer with my job. Finally, a transfer was granted and we moved from our old town to a new state. My wife was a principal of an elementary school there and the male colleague texting her is still a principal. There were photos shared of her in her sexy outfit she wore that night. Him telling her how hot she looked. And the last message was "Love you baby." I didn't know what to do. I went to her photos and saw she had shared many photos with him, very intimate photos. I saved all the photos and sent them to my Google Drive account. I saved all the texts and sent screenshots to my account as well. I then went on to Facebook Messenger to see what else she had been up to. I saw that one of her ex-boyfriends was expressing how much he missed her and how he should have married her, not me. She is so perfect, blah, blah, blah. He said crap like "you're thicker than a snooker" in all the right places and send me a picture for masturbation purposes and science. She didn't engage much in that conversation but didn't cut it off either. I screenshot of that and saved it as well. I then went and deleted all the screenshots from the recently deleted photos folder, making sure she did not know I screenshot of all of these things. I stayed up all night pacing as she slept drunk. I had his phone number from her phone. I saved it and screenshotted it in the Telegram app to prove it is his number and the messages. I found his address. I found his wife's name and her phone number. I found her on social media. I was ready to blow this all up, but I didn't. I love my wife and I decided to let her explain herself before I blasted them to his wife. I packed my bags and was ready to change my ticket and fly out. But again, I love my wife and this would have caused her great embarrassment if I were to be gone early in the trip, leaving her to explain to her mom and her friends where I was and what happened. So again, I stayed put. I also knew that if I left, there would be no room for reconciliation. By this time it was about 6 or 7. Amy took her phone and went downstairs to the little coffee shop and breakfast place in the hotel. I just helped myself through all of her stuff. I checked the phone statement on my phone and found out how long this has been going on, just over a year. The first text came through in December of 2020 and then they stopped in December of 2021, but clearly they continued talking through the app until February of 2022. All the vacations, dates and fun little things we did together. I could only assume she was texting him with me right next to her. I bought her a coffee and orange juice, a Red Bull and a bottle of water so she could sober up when she woke up because we weren't going anywhere. I went back to the room and plugged her phone in. I had everything. I had the idea to log into the Telegram app they were using to talk on my phone's web browser so I could see all the messages between them. I sat on the bed next to her, sad, angry, heartbroken and just in disbelief. Finally, at about 11 o'clock, she started stirring. She told me to come lay with her, but I just went and sat next to her. She immediately knew something was wrong. When I got into bed with her, I guess she could just feel it. She immediately jumped up and turned to me and asked me what was wrong before he had even said a word. All I said was, "Who's Greg?" She immediately got defensive and sighed. She asked why I would go through her phone like that. I told her what had happened and I wasn't snooping through her phone. I explained that someone called and I saw it. She jumped up and grabbed her phone and went to the bathroom. I opened the app and saw she had sent him a message. I left the app open last night. Ops saw it, then she deleted it. She deleted all of the messages. So they disappeared in my web browser as well. But I already had them saved. He replied with, "No crap. Am I in trouble?" I couldn't help but laugh. This guy is 41 years old. A principal asking if he was in trouble. I found it funny that he did not give a crap to ask how she was. He wasn't worried if I was angry. He wasn't worried if she was okay. She came out of the bathroom and I showed her my phone and said, "You're really going to go text him right now?" She started crying and I began asking all the questions I wanted answered questions. I knew the answers to some questions. I did not. I asked if she screwed him. I asked how long it had been going on. I asked if he had ever been in my bed or in my home. I asked if she loved him. The answer to these questions was no, no, no. I wanted to go to his house. I wanted to burn it down. I wanted to do physical harm to him. But I have a precious daughter and a very good job that requires a security clearance. I finally lost the urge to confront him or hurt him, but I still had the urge to let his wife know. The problem is my wife does not want me to. She says because of embarrassment, shame, guilt. But I wonder if it is that or me finding out something she didn't tell me or lied to me about, who knows. But I want a PS wife to know she deserves to know. I wanted to post his and her phone numbers here that night. But I thought they might get me banned as well as into some civil trouble. We have very close friends there. Some of our friends, kids still visit us in our new state and our new home. Some friends are still principals there and work in the school system in the small town. The affair partner's wife does as well. So there are small circles that intersect recently. Going back through the cell phone records, I remembered that we had attended a marriage conference in February of 2021. Sure enough, there's his number on the same dates as the conference. He actually attended the same marriage conference with his wife. It just got worse. It seemed, I also saw that she talked with him on the phone on her birthday, August of 2021, while I was arranging a surprise party. She was on the phone for 45 minutes. I practically had to drag her to dinner that night with about 40 people waiting to surprise her. When she saw all the people, she cried and told me she loved me so much that night. I had no idea. I went through my phone and deleted every picture from December 2020 to February 2022. That was intimate of us hugging or kissing or some sexy photo. She had sent me her photos of us together on some random trip we had taken. I couldn't delete the pictures of my daughter at the same time, but they make me sad knowing what I know now, that she was likely talking to him and coming home to me. Update from the first post and removal. She removed the lock from her phone. She has given me full access to her phone. I told her I want couples therapy. I want her to go to individual therapy. She refused couples therapy but went to individual therapy. I asked her again for couples therapy and she refused again. I finally told her she does not get to dictate how this goes. She goes to couples therapy or she leaves. I told her I would not move out. She could move out. My daughter stays with me as I will be in the house and she needs to stay in her environment that she knows. She was livid, said that I would kick her out and keep our daughter from her. I said I would never keep her from her mom, but I would have full custody and she could see every other weekend. She finally agreed. She cried. She apologized. She explained most of it to me, but it's only been 5 months and I keep getting questions in my head and I ask them. She gets so upset when I bring it up. I told her again, I'm sorry that my grief is inconvenient to her happiness. I told her she does not get to just move on like she wants to. She just thinks if we don't talk about it, it will disappear and we will be fine. I started going to the gym. I am looking better. She has noticed other women starting to give me attention, good-looking fit women. She admits she made a huge mistake and she messed up so badly. She is working on fixing things so far. I believe her. The sex has been great. She pleasures me a few times a week apart from the sex 5 to 6 times a week. I still get distant from her. Occasionally. I still get sad. I still get depressed, but we are working through it. I still want to tell the wife, but I don't want to risk the progress we have made this far. My therapist asked if that would make my situation any better and what would the repercussions be. So, here we are. I guess just letting you guys know. It's possible.
I see so many posts.
How do I move on? What do I do? Is it possible? It is. But it still sucks. I still wonder. I logged into the Telegram account recently and saw he either blocked her or deleted his account. So there is that 1 foot at a time? AOP prompts you for staying strong in such a difficult situation. I can only imagine how painful it would be to find out that your wife cheated on you with a school principal. I see that you're trying to reconcile with her by going through counseling, but I personally would cut ties with her and let karma serve its justice. I would definitely recommend telling the affair partner's wife and even reporting it to the school so he can hopefully get fired. And then I would recommend serving your wife with divorce papers and fighting to get full custody of your daughter. Reason being is that your wife decided to cheat on you and in return has completely disrupted your family. Ultimately, she deserves to pay the consequences for her actions. Let's see what the comments had to say about the situation. My issues and stuff said, tell the wife, period. You absolutely would want to know, right? She supposedly stopped and I get you're trying to get your hardest to keep it together. But she is clearly not sorry you're dealing with this. But it sounds like you're just rug sweeping and love bombing again. Wouldn't you want to know, or are you just fine with being complicit in her affair? Happy tragedy. 15 said these are the posts I always comment on here. Please tell the wife. This is coming from a wife who was cheated on and didn't find out until 12 years later. Finding out so long after absolutely destroyed me and I'm still not recovered. I thought we had a great marriage now. I don't know if it was all a facade. I question every aspect of the life we shared now and I have lost the ability to trust. That happens to everyone who has cheated on. But it is even deeper than that because I didn't know he was capable of looking me in the eyes and lying so easily to me for so long. He made me realize that you can think, you know, someone better than anyone. But in reality, you can never really know them if they can lie so easily. Whiskey Tango 7734 Head. If you decide to stay with your wife and that it is the best for you and your family at the very least, go see a family lawyer in your new state. Be sure to ask if postnuptial arrangements are valid in your state. If they are, then make your wife sign one. If she wants to stay. If she isn't willing to do that, then she expects to do it again. Make sure you control the money going forward and ensure you have everything you need. If you need to cut her out of your life, if she stays and remains true to you, great. But if not, then you have what you will need.
Good luck.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to today's story. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well as comment on what your thoughts are about today's story. Hope you have a great rest of your day or evening.